So hello everybody, and I am trying something new here with this new microphone. Hopefully the sound will be better, but we'll see about that. I figured I just give this a shot and see how it goes. So here in Sweden, during the summer months, we have extremely long days and basically no night whatsoever. We can't even see the stars during the night. So when winter comes, we have exactly the opposite. We have really short days and really long nights. I mean, it gets dark at roughly 2:30 p.m. and it just continues until 7 in the morning the next day. So you have a lot of darkness here in Stockholm. And as a photographer, it's always a bit boring because well, you don't have any light and you don't have anything to photograph. But that was until I discovered or rediscovered astrophotography. I have been doing a lot of astrophotography, and you might have noticed this in this channel because, well, it's fun. I like it, and this is still a channel about photography in general, but it's a great idea for me, at least living here in Sweden, to have the option of going out in the wintertime when it's dark and do something else more than just long exposures, trailing cars or whatever. That's, I mean, you get tired of it eventually. I started with astrophotography roughly in November last year, and I just came up with the idea like, why I'm not doing this? I have almost everything that I need. And I started with just a simple tripod and my gear that I already own, and took some test shots to see if I like this. And I also discovered that there is a lot of post-processing in astrophotography, so I had to learn that as well. And eventually it didn't take long before I invested in a tracker, something that follows the stars or compensates for the Earth's movement during an exposure, because you can't expose that long without a tracker, and astrophotography, well, is all about exposure times. I bought myself a tracker, I think roughly in March or February, March or something, and I knew that was a bit late in the season, but I had a great opportunity. There was a sale on the tracker and I just went for it. After April, the season is gone and you don't get to photograph anything else in astrophotography. But I eventually moved on to landscape photography, and that's the content that you're looking at right now in this channel. During these summer months, I also had some opportunity to plan for this upcoming season, the season that we are in now, in the beginning of this season. So I invested in some new gear. So as I mentioned earlier, astrophotography is all about exposures. If you're running untracked, you can get like 1 to 10 seconds of exposure time depending on how much you zoom in. If you're running on a tracker, then that was what I did during March, then you could have like 30 seconds up to 2 minutes if you're lucky of exposure times. And if you are running guided and tracked, then you can have like more than 2 minutes of exposure time, maybe even up to 5 minutes. So what I have here is a guide scope with a small digital camera attached to it that regularly sends small signals to the tracker telling it to adjust its tracking while everything is connected to an ASI Air Pro, which is basically just a small Raspberry Pi, which I can use a tablet on my tablet or my phone to connect to and control everything from there. And it also powers up all my gear, my camera, the guide scope, the tracker, everything. And that one in turn is attached to an external battery that I had to buy. So additionally, I also bought myself a narrowband filter for my Canon 60D, one of the elderly cameras that I own that I haven't used in quite a while, so it felt nice to just take that one out, dust it off, and try it with astrophotography. And a narrowband filter is just a filter that enables me to capture some specific light out in the skies, more specific H-alpha and oxygen 3, but we'll get to that another time. All you guys need to know now is that I am going to try this new gear. I have two cameras using for astrophotography, the 60D with the narrowband filter on, and the R6 capturing RGB photographs, meaning color images of the night sky. And this specific setup that you're seeing here is the Canon 60D attached to my star tracker with the Tamron 150 to 600 millimeters G2 set at 600 millimeters, and together with the crop factor that the 60D has, gives me a whopping 960 millimeters of reach or focal length, and that is good enough for the plans that I have with my astrophotography journey. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more astrophotography, not just astrophotography, but maybe some astrophotography this season. And I'll share all my learnings and all my photographs and all the things that I do in post-process with you guys for everything that I take, not just astrophotography. And so do not forget to subscribe, and if you like this video, do give it a like, it helps a lot. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of this content and my upcoming content with this new gear or other adventures that I'm going to do. It's getting cold here in Sweden, so there's plenty of snow adventures hopefully in the future. And as usual, comments, suggestions, thoughts are highly appreciated in the comment section. I answer everything because I'm a small channel and I get like 2 comments. You know who you are. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you then. All right, bye now.